Good evening, everyone. Shay's Creations here, and I decided to come out of the craft room to do this video because I had a few conversations this week. It is Saturday here in New York. I had a few conversations this week, and some of them landed on like no spend and budgeting, frugal, poor, and things like that. So during one of the conversations, I was asked if I was shopping, and I said pretty much no. Outside of going to the mall, and my daughter bought me some teddy bears, but I've been mainly grinding to pay down this one bill. But then I realized that a few days ago, I figured out something that would benefit me, and that is to start leaving the home. So I purchased a small table and some supplies, towards my crafting and my trying to sell my cards online. So, you know, but I wanted to mention during this video that I'm not against spending. I'm against wasting. Now, I can only speak for my money. I have no rights to speak to for anyone else, but I'm not going to take money that I know can pay down a bill for me and save me in the future, in the coming months. I would prefer to do that than to say I'm going to rob Peter to pay Paul next month or the month after. I never did acquire the full understanding of robbing Peter to pay Paul outside of the fact that what I have been shown, um, you know, people around me, not everyone. I have to be mindful of how I say things because I don't want everyone to get offended when this does not fit everyone's foot. But there are people that don't have the common knowledge of understanding that you're risking going on the street, and that's because a lot of people have this mentality to where if I don't have it, someone else is going to pay it. And I've had that opportunity quite often because I'm disabled, but I have chosen on my own, whether I had the money or not, to fix some of these issues on my own. And that was because I didn't want to find myself being abusive to the kindness of whether it be a stranger or someone I know, someone I'm related to, or, something like that. I don't earn other people's money, so I don't want to be the type of person that always has to be involved in spending other people's money. And that goes for begging and borrowing as well. I have chosen to live without. So I'm making waves now to save what I can save. I'm making waves to making sure that everything that is owed in April, May, June, July, whatever the month is paid in full. If I have any gravy, it's going to the upcoming bills that are coming. Now, I don't know if anyone has the option of using a firm or afterpay or whatever the case may be, but I'm speaking of the ones that allow you to pay extra. I'm gonna tell you how I pay extra. Doesn't mean that I'm doing it the right way. It means I'm doing it the right way for me. That's what it means. So I go to um, all, just say a firm. Let's stick with only a firm because I don't know anything else. I go to all, and then I look for the payment that is due now. I knock off all the payments that are due now, monthly as it is, and then any gravy I have left, I say maybe I can knock off three bills. I don't go to the top of the list. I go to the bottom of the list. Now, say it's April now. I go to like July, August, September, October. I try to stick with the very last month until I can knock that payment off, because that's 1 month sooner that I finish paying. And then just say I was to get a hustle and grind somewhere later in the month, or maybe a hustle and grind. I'm just saying, say some people get hustle and grind, some people don't. But just say I did. That will go to the top to help me with the ones that's coming. And I would keep going from the top down to the until I got, just say if I got another hustle and grind. Times are so hard right now. I don't know. I think the last order I had might have been 2 months ago, and before that, but it was a while. I haven't had one on eBay, I think, since September, if I'm not mistaken. Since around September, I haven't sold anything on eBay. I can tell you something that I actually like, although it's not benefiting me right now, but the joy you will not understand unless you understand my method of the madness. So I have been listing on eBay every single day. I'm making cards. Some go on eBay, some don't. The ones that go on eBay, I am not sharing. I may share the picture, but I'm not sharing the post. I am advertising through eBay on eBay, but that's it. I'm not sharing none of my shopping links anywhere. So when I check my stats on eBay, the reason why I'm happy is because I was getting 0 views most of last year. Like I told you, I haven't sold anything, but I was getting 0 views on eBay all those months, especially the entire summer. And then I was in some groups and they were saying that there were some glitches and there was something that was coming up and we had to wait and it wasn't going to be revealed until after the election was over. It was a whole bunch of stuff. And the bottom line is what I believe was happening was the tariffs. I believe that's what was happening. Somehow it was tariffs. Now, I have about 64 cards listed on eBay, and I'm thankful that I'm getting views. The good thing, I'm getting only organic views, which means when someone is looking on my cards, they were searching for my cards. So that is what I'm happy for. And especially since I'm going to take the long way to getting to the gravy by not advertising, because just say I paid for Facebook ads, and I just say I paid and I spent $5 and then I got no clicks or either clicks with no intentions to buy. I have come to the realization that likes, shares, none of that matters if there are no sales. There's none of that matters if it doesn't sell. So I don't even have to look at my post to see how many likes I got. I don't need to know that. I know now that the algorithm is basically better with the more engagement you get. So which means someone basically needs to leave you a comment. Your post needs to have some form of activity. So I don't look at likes anymore. I look at comments, and that's it. And I do everything in my power to get to everyone on a comment. The only time I don't tend to leave a comment is if it's something that I know they knew the answer to before they asked a question. I will like it. If it's a thumb up on Facebook, I'm not sure. I will give a thumbs up, but I'm not going to give. I'm not going back and forth to play in the sandbox on Facebook. I'm not going to do it. So when it comes to stuff like that, we got to figure out what is best for us. Now, getting back to paying the bills, I'm not telling you not to loan money, and I'm not telling you not to borrow. I'm telling you that you could very well lose what you loaned, and you could possibly lose someone you love. So don't borrow because you might lose someone you love, and don't loan because you may lose something you can't afford to lose. And if you are the person who borrows money, just think of it as if someone owed you money. Think of your reaction to what you would do or say if they decided they didn't want to pay you back. Now, just imagine it's someone that you see in almost your everyday life, and you see what they do have money for. And then you say to yourself, okay, I am not anyone's judge or jury. What they spend their money on is not my business. But when I'm getting my money is my business. And then you turn into anger. So you end up losing 9 times out of 10 what you loaned. And then you have a very good chance of losing the person that you loved. But in my case, I'm going to tell you how I feel. I don't think I'm losing anything if someone doesn't pay me back. I only loan what I can afford to lose. Number two, I've acquired the ability to say no. So I'm not making up an excuse. If I don't have an excuse, trust me, I don't need one. If I have one, it means I respected you enough to tell you why I wasn't able to do it. But I've acquired the ability to say no. It has transformed my life because you see, I was that person that was always a yes, even when I was tired or whatever. But now, if I'm tired, I'm tired. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. And then I've learned what an invitation is. If I have to drive my car knowing that I am the one that's ill, it's not an invitation. That's not an invitation. It's called being available. Do I always want to be available? If I can. Do I want to sometimes be unavailable? I sure do. I'm making it happen. I could not believe one day when someone told me you need to unplug your phone. I thought that was the most disrespectful thing the person could have possibly have ever said to me because I have a child out there. You don't want to turn your phone off and the person can't get to you. That is like, especially if you know that there are people that they can't call because whether they had the ability to get there or not, they're not going. And that's me. I don't know anybody in my family that would go to my daughter's aid if she needed help. Not saying that they wouldn't, but it's been basically a soloist thing for many years. And I'm not being facetious when I say that because, I love, people. I'm not, no one owes me anything. Let's put it that way. And I owe no one anything either. So I'm just putting it out there. A lot of people don't realize when to say no. I didn't know how to say no for a long time. Just recently, I was upset with myself because I had to purchase car seat covers for my vehicle. And I didn't have the money available to do what I would prefer to do, and that is cash and carry. So I was doing a business loan, I think, where I got my table and everything. So I threw the seat things in there as well, because that's what makes me feel better when I drive, when I don't see the holes that were put in my vehicle by smoking in my vehicle when I asked on more than one occasion, please don't smoke in my vehicle. And then I said to myself, I'm to the point now where sometimes I can't drive and sometimes I have to rely on someone else to help me. Then turn around, a person may say, can I borrow the car? And I feel a certain way. And I say yes. And turn around, I see the cigarette ashes. I see maybe a spliff rolled under the seat. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm just saying to myself, my dang God, shingles. What happened to I'm going to borrow your stuff and treat it like it's yours, not like it's mine? Am I the only person who thinks that way? If I borrow something, I would treat it better than when I would treat it if I paid for it. I don't want to have to owe you and then have to go buy my own because you don't want to loan me anymore. Do we ever think about these things? Well, we need to. We absolutely need to. My doctors even told me you're not as crazy as people think you are because you think what if all the time and they don't think. Can we get it? Do you understand? Some people don't think what if at all. I'm afraid of those people too. I'm also afraid of anybody who would put up their body on a string over a mountain. So I got a lot of fears, and that's one too. Because I don't know how to say it, but string, mountain, rock, bang. I can't do that one. But I did tell you I'm not good in math, though, didn't I? Okay, now let's get it right. Okay. I'm feeling so uncomfortable now. I know you already know, so I'm not going to say anything. But boom! So yesterday, the day before yesterday, I got a message that I had some blessings in the investment thing, and I'm like, wow! Don't matter what it is, 'cause I really don't know what it is. I just thought it was expired already. So I'm like, I still have that investing thing. So I'm like, all right. And that was a few years now that I did that. And I don't remember if Walmart is one of them, but I believe I did it like 2 to 3. So one lost already because two still have some earnings. I'm like, oh wow, are you serious? I don't know how to do stuff like that, so I'm not even trying to get into anything like that. I said, if somebody dropped me an envelope and said, this is what you have, and you have to come meet us at this place, boy, I be the way got me a lawyer somewhere. You got to call me somewhere. You charging me for the moment you step on that step, not getting there, none of that. I'm not paying that, and I'm not coming to your office to fill out the damn papers either. You gonna fax it and email all, trying to Jew me all that. I saw the receipt after a lawsuit that I was like, you got what? But me coming to signature? Ooh, boy. If I get into something, we gonna play the fax and the email. I'm not playing that. You charging me? I may look bald headed and half dumb, but I'm not. And I'm not signing anything I don't understand in layman terms. So you better rewrite that sucker all over because I'm not signing nothing. One thing I do know, and if I get hit by something, I'm laying down, and I don't want to hear shit but lawyer. 1-800-lawyer. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. I swear I had a little pain in my shoulder. I forgot I might have dragged a few little nipples in my oh my goodness. I can't believe my arm feels so much better. Whew, I don't know. It feels like it's broken in there. So I'm like, so, somebody be leaving little roaches in the ashtray. I just go get me one. But anyway, I'm going to try to get away from that right now because I know somebody's like, no, she is not screaming like that on camera. Well, I'm trying to be a good girl. Oh, man. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm not good in math and all that other stuff, but I do know to pay the bills. I will be most likely debt-free basically within the next 2 months. And when I was debt free before, I was like, oh, I felt so good. But now paying $336 extra for rent that I'm not supposed to be paying is kind of hurt me. First of all, I had to lower my car insurance to liability instead of full coverage. But the blessing is I'm not really outside like that, so the risk is much lower than for someone who is outside. But I do know the last accident I had was pulling out of the damn garage right here, so anything can happen. So I'm trying to be mindful. I do have a little something I'm working on in a nice way to hopefully save in some kind of way. But that's gonna not be on anybody's channel that got my face on it. So not there at all. But I did move around my living room. I have curtains here now at the window, and I'm going to be doing a video. I gotta sit down right now, and then when I get from here, I probably have to wobble into my room because my ankles feel swollen for some. But they're swollen, and I noticed that my ankles feel a certain way. You probably just heard it crack. I'm gonna lay down anyway. Oh, that was so good. I have about 7 greeting cards I just finished doing, so now it's the time for the people who are like interested in my greeting cards. And to those that are not, thank you so much for staying this long. Anyway, I was going back and forth over this new idea I had for cards, and ChatGPT helped me with a name for something earlier with my YouTube. So I'm trying to figure out what the name of the theme of these cards are going to be, because I'm going to start putting them in like 12 packs and stuff like that. But I'm going to show you about 7 or 8 cards. I don't know how many. Whatever the case may be, I'm holding them a little longer if someone wants to see a little bit of the details or whatever. And if you are interested in it, you just message me. So I really love these cards. And Coral got me to thinking of different shapes and sizes. So thank you so much for that. And the inside is just regular. And this is my decent paper. Not the really hard paper when I have to layer. This is my paper that's too thick for the printer. So I said I'm gonna start my handmaids all over again. But this line right here, I'm enjoying. There's a certain way that I'm doing the vision, so I don't have any way to explain it. And as far as my sentiments go, I'm using some basic sentiments. So I'm just making any occasion cards, and I'm putting any sentiment. So it doesn't have the picture doesn't have anything to do with the sentiment as far as I'm concerned, because it's universal all across the board. So that's how I like it. And I'm not going to layer it inside. I think the pink is nice, so I'm leaving that like that. I just have some of them 3D, like you see here, which is off the page, and then some of them are flat. I actually love that. So I did each one slightly different, and I used different paper. I'm going to use my printer to help me with this idea I have right here. So I think I have a name. I think it's called the Heavenly Collection. Something with heavenly in it, because that's how I feel when I'm making them. I feel like I'm not alone, and there's something working through me. So we're not gonna make this a religious video. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. And if you spent the day with me, I want to say thank you, because today was a good YouTube day for me, boys and girls. I'm trying to slowly get my gravy, because I don't want to be getting money and turn around. I gotta pay this. I think this is $25.40. This is $2,400. This rent right here is $2,400. So I got to make sure I can afford to pay to stay and play. But I can tell you one thing: when I start earning from my YouTube channel, my YouTube money is going to be paying for my bills. I'm going to have some kind of kindness thing that I'm doing, to where I send little small packages. I also know something else I'm gonna do, but we gotta wait until the tariffs is over, because I figured out when I start doing my freebies, I'm going to have the freebies shipped from somewhere that may have a tariff. Now, I need you to hear me for a minute. I'm not saying I'm gonna purchase somebody a pack of 99-cent fingernails and ship it to them. I will wear 99-cent fingernails because I know wholesale and I know retail. So it doesn't matter if it's $6.99 or $12.99. If you open both packages, you may not be able to tell which one is which. Okay, let's do the math on that. So no, let's not do the math on that, because like I told you, I can't count. Okay, we're gonna leave that for somebody else. Not me. Anyway, I'm going to end my video because it is a little bit after midnight. I already had my dinner, and I'm not sleepy, so I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm gonna have my cottage cheese with my my orange and then go to bed, because I might want to just get some rest, or I figure out something else. I'm in here moving and shaking. I did this. I changed it up, this flower vase, and I just put some stems in it. And I'm like, oh, I really like that. You probably can't see the beauty of it, because for one, I'm in the picture too. But I did 2 of those bottles. And this plant, of course, I moved from over there. My TV's over there. My couch is over there. My couch is here. But you will see that in another video. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for subscribing. You shall see me tomorrow.